You know, there's a meme circulating on the internet that goes something like this. It highlights people's concerns regarding the unconditional support the US provides to Israel, even among Americans themselves. Despite Israel's invasion of Palestine resulting in numerous civilian casualties and drawing criticism from various parties, including the International Court of Justice.
אף אחד לא יעצור אותנו. לא האג, לא ציר הרשע, ולא אף אחד אחר.
The question is, why is America so obsessed on Israel?
Israel.
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 What leads a country as influential as America to consistently align with Israel? Let's delve into this discussion.
The bond between our two countries is unbreakable.
I love Israel. I love Israel.
We stand with Israel.
We are you and you are us.
Returning to the earlier mentioned meme, although it was likely created without any supporting data, there's an underlying truth to it. The fact is, the United States allocates $3.8 billion annually to aid the Israeli military. In other words, we can assume that this is the money that the United States spends to help Israel protect its own borders from various threats. While this amount might seem insignificant when compared to the $25 billion the United States spends on securing its own borders, a mathematical calculation reveals otherwise. Consider this. Israel's total land borders span only 1,150 kilometers, whereas the United States land borders extend over 12,036 kilometers. This means that the United States allocates $2,077,102 for every kilometer of its own border, while it dedicates a staggering $3,304,347 for every kilometer along the Israeli border. Quite surprising, isn't it? If you still doubt what I'm saying about the United States' obsession with Israel, I'll present you with the data. First off, consider this staggering figure. Since 1946, the United States has poured over $317.9 billion, adjusted for inflation, into Israel through bilateral assistance. Yes, you heard that right, more than to any other country. This assistance includes military and economic aid, at least until 2008. After 2008, America only provided military assistance to Israel amounting to $3.8 billion per year, even though there are conditions where Israel has to spend the money in the US, meaning the aid funds provided by America must be used to purchase US defense equipment. It's that simple. However, this condition also means that Israel has more room to develop its sophisticated military technology, such as the Merkava tank or the Iron Dome air protection system. But why such unparalleled generosity? Secondly, the United States was the first country to recognize Israel's independence, only 11 minutes after Israel's declaration of independence on May 14, 1948. That's right, a mere 11 minutes. After David Ben-Gurion announced Israel's independence at that time, it didn't take long for President Harry S. Truman to recognize Israel's independence, granting de facto recognition just 11 minutes after the declaration. This decision was influenced by several factors, including the long-standing American support for Zionism, the Holocaust, and the Cold War geopolitical landscape, at least according to some accounts. The United States' decision to recognize Israel so dramatically had a profound impact on the fledgling nation. It provided crucial political and diplomatic support at a critical time and helped to ensure Israel's survival in the face of surrounding Arab hostility. The relationship between the US and Israel has remained strong ever since, and the US-Israel relationship remains one of the closest in the world. So, let's answer the question. What makes the United States so obsessed with Israel? The answer is, they share the same values.
I stand with Israel because of our shared values, which are so fundamental to the founding of both our nations.
In Israel, we see values that we share.
Its cause is the shared history and common values that draw America and Israel.
And what value is that? Speaking of shared values, let's rewind a bit. Remember America's own historical narrative. It's one marked by territorial conquests, negotiations, and yes, even some controversial land dealings. Sound familiar? Israel's own establishment on land formerly occupied by Palestinian communities echoes this narrative. It's a parallel that's hard to ignore. Beyond history, the United States and Israel also share strong cultural and religious ties. The US has the largest Jewish population outside of Israel, with approximately 5.7 million Jews as of 2021, representing roughly 2% of the total population. This sizable population fosters a strong emotional and historical connection with Israel, both on a personal and communal level. American Jews engage in advocacy, fundraising, and cultural exchange activities related to Israel. A 2022 Pew Research Center survey found that 80% of American Jews have a favorable view of Israel, and 75% feel a strong emotional attachment to the country. Additionally, many Americans share Judeo-Christian values and see Israel as the historical homeland of the Jewish people. This perception aligns with the concept of Zionism, which advocates for the establishment of a Jewish state in the land of Israel. You could say the majority of Christians in the United States support Israel, and again, Christianity is the majority religion in the United States. A 2023 Gallup poll found that 79% of Americans have a favorable view of Israel. This perspective influences American public opinion and political support for Israel, often fueling calls for U.S. aid and protection. But it's not just history and cultural ties driving this connection. The United States considers itself a beacon of democracy, despite various criticisms.
Equality and democracy are the rock upon which this nation is built. They're why, for more than 2 centuries, America has been a beacon to the world.
But they like to present themselves as such. It seems that the United States considers Israel to share the same democratic values, especially in the Middle East.
The only democracy in the Middle East.
Israel is a beacon of democracy in a sea of violence and hostility.
So, Israel is seen as a beacon of democracy in the Middle East, at least according to the United States, while the Arab majority in the region is not seen as practicing democratic values. Arabs are often depicted as barbarians who adhere to outdated values, not to mention the rampant Islamophobia. In other words, Arabs and Islam are viewed as common enemies that do not reflect Western values and democracy. Oh, and there's one crucial factor I haven't mentioned yet: AIPAC. What exactly is AIPAC? It stands for the American Israel Public Affairs Committee, and its influence on shaping the U.S.-Israel relationship cannot be overstated. AIPAC wields considerable power as the most prominent pro-Israel lobby in the U.S. It boasts a formidable network of lobbyists, grassroots activists, and political donors, all working tirelessly to advance Israel's interests in American politics. AIPAC's influence extends far beyond mere lobbying. The organization actively engages with policymakers from both sides of the aisle in Congress, providing campaign contributions and organizing lobbying visits to Capitol Hill. It ensures that lawmakers are well-versed in the intricacies of issues concerning Israel. Studies have shown that AIPAC's efforts have a tangible impact on congressional decision-making, particularly regarding foreign aid allocations and military assistance to Israel.
America can't ever be neutral when it comes to Israel's security or survival.
America will stand unapologetically with the nation of Israel.
But AIPAC isn't the only player in this game. Other influential organizations, such as the Jewish Federations of North America and the Conference of Presidents of Major American Jewish Organizations, also wield considerable clout in advocating for Israel's interests. What's particularly noteworthy is the symbiotic relationship between these pro-Israel groups and the media. With well-established ties, they exert a significant influence on how Israel is portrayed in the U.S. media landscape, shaping public perception and discourse. So what does Israel get from the United States? It's not just about financial assistance. It's about having the backing of the world's most influential nation in times of need. As a fledgling nation surrounded by adversaries, Israel relies heavily on the full-throated support of the U.S. to navigate its tumultuous geopolitical landscape. This support serves as a linchpin for Israel's remarkable economic, political, and military development, propelling it to become one of the most influential countries on the global stage. Despite facing criticism and controversy from various quarters, Israel's alliance with the United States affords it a level of autonomy and latitude unparalleled in international politics. This includes the ability to flout international law and disregard rulings from bodies like the International Court of Justice, all while enjoying the unequivocal backing of its most powerful ally. In essence, the U.S.-Israel relationship is a complex web of political maneuvering, strategic alliances, and shared interests, all underpinned by a deep-rooted commitment to mutual support and solidarity. However, the United States' unwavering support for Israel has often sparked controversy, particularly concerning the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. Despite calls for objectivity, navigating this intricate landscape remains a challenge for American policymakers. So, why is America so obsessed with Israel? It's a combination of history, shared values, and strategic alliances that have forged a bond unlike any other. And as long as these ties persist, the fascination will endure, shaping global dynamics for years to come. So, what do you think? Is the United States' unwavering support for Israel the right move? Join the conversation in the comments section and share your thoughts. Do you think this alliance could potentially be a double-edged sword for the US down the road? I'm curious to hear your take on it. And hey, if you've enjoyed our discussion today and want to stay tuned for more thought-provoking content, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and give us a thumbs up. It's a small gesture that goes a long way in supporting our channel. Can't wait to continue this discussion with you all in the next episode. Until then, peace out.
אף אחד לא יעצור אותנו. לא האג, לא ציר הרשע ולא אף אחד אחר.